so excited to see this women's pair in this race, as I guess you are. From Wairiki Rowing Club, New Zealand, Grace Prendergast and Kerry Gowler. New world record holders in this event. They are on the right of your picture, the Buck Station, and they are racing the pair from Bath University and Southampton Coal Porters, in effect the British national squad pair, and they are on the left of your picture on the Berkshire Station. So there's the view from the end of the islands, and Prendergast and Gowler, Grace Prendergast from the Avon Club in the South Islands, Kerry Gowler from Wanganui. Kerry Gowler the stroke, and these two women, well, they just blew Glover and Stanning's world's best time apart in Poznan. You know, they went sub 6:50, which just was like incredible.
It was a spectacular performance. I mean, it was good conditions out in Poznan, a few records broken, but these two are a really classy pair, and a bit of a shame that Sam Courty and Courty McMurtry have come up against them in the first round. As you said, they are British squad pair. They're both very strong. They had a good start there, but you can see straight away this New Zealand pair.
Yeah, so we're now approaching the halfway point, and we look at the New Zealand pair in cruise pace, coached by Gary Hay, who of course was Emma Twig's coach. Emma Twig, the Kiwi sculler, world champion I think on the Bosban in 2014, if memory serves. Didn't quite get it together to medal in the Rio Olympics, but she didn't have the smoothest of rides from the New Zealand Federation, it must be said, after a year out on the scholarship programme. So it's the Kiwi pair, world's best time, the best women's pair in the world at the moment, bar none, on the left of your picture. The distinctive colours of Wairiki Rowing Club. It's the club that the Kiwis represent when they row for Henley. And on the right of your picture, this crew from Bath University and Southampton Coal Porters. I think that's the club of Courty McMurtry.
That's right. That's her original club. She did some rowing down there, and she's also done some coastal rowing.
So Courty McMurtry, and of course Sam Courty is in the bow seat of that pair, and she is from Bath University. Just talk us through the psychology, Zoe, if you're racing the best pair in the world, and you know, and I think so many times people have gone up on Glover and Stanning and tried to race them. I mean, how do you handle it?
As I said, unfortunate that they drew them in the first round for the British pair, but it's a new combination. Sam Courty's been out injured for a bit of the year, so this will be her first international race back. Courty McMurtry actually stroked the GB Women's 8 in 2014, but didn't make it to Rio. So again, this is a good, strong start for them. I guess if you're going to race anyone, why not race the best in the world and see how you fare?
That's a great shout, but you know, racing the best in the world, you're out there, and I'm thinking life on the ocean wave. There is so much swell and wash there, and you see the Kiwis, they're doing that distinctive pause at the finish, aren't they, which is really a thing in rowing now. And I was talking to Ian Wright, who coaches the Australian four, and you know, he's really, that's where you've got to be together, take a little time with the bodies, and then if you do that, you're going to arrive at the front together and pick the boat. And it's quite distinctive the way they're paddling there, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's always a case of what works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other. I think my personal opinion is that that style and that rhythm works better in the small boats than in the big boats, because in the big boats you need to move a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker there to keep the momentum up. But this pair, just look at them coming towards us now, look so comfortable, so confident and relaxed.
Two lovely ladies as well. I know they were delighted to... You can actually see out the corner of my eye, Zoe de Toledo's pointed out that the next race, the Ladies' Challenge Plate, is already on the course. Grace Prendergast there, the bowwoman from Avon in New Zealand, just sort of calmly talking to Kerry Gowler. And, well, I guess one of the things the world is not going to be treated to is a match-up with these two. I think they have stepped on, I think, since the Olympic season in Rio, where they were doubling up in the women's 8, of course. And it would be great to see. Maybe in fantasy rowing, you might see Gowler and Prendergast 6:49 go up against Glover and Stanning in another rowing heaven, perhaps.
It wasn't quite this pair doubling up. These two were in the 8, but and you know, had a fantastic season with them as well.
Thanks for pointing that out, Zoe. Of course, they were in the pair in 2015 in Egg Ballet.
Getting a bit worried about that ladies' plate race coming down behind.
Yeah, they will be coming down the track. That's the race between Oswald Brooks and Taurus and Elizabethan Boat Club, who are trucking it behind these ladies, who are actually down into paddle. And you can just see how fast the Kiwi crew are. There's the Oxford Brooks crew. You can just see the umpires behind. Well, the camera will kind of fall short on that.
It's not, they're not going to overtake this women's pairs race, but they are going to be in uncomfortable water from this umpire's launch up ahead of them.
Just a 5-minute gap between races here. So I think the Kiwis will be grateful, actually, they've had this initiation in terms of racing at Henley, just to be able to just get a bit of solidity around the back turn at the finish. And just on this difficult water, it is, you know, in the middle of the course, it did look really, really swelly there.
I think you need to get a feel for the course and understand what it's like to be racing with everyone shouting and with boats coming past. It's a difficult environment. It's very rare that you race so close to spectators on both sides of the course, and it can be quite a shock, especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah, if memory serves, I mean, that was the famous New Zealand men's pair of Hamish Bonds and Eric Murray. One of the things they changed with their rowing was just to have more of a pause around the back end of the stroke after the 2010 season, and their coach Dick Tonk didn't like it, but they did too, and took on Drew Ginn's ideas, and they went from strength to strength as a pair. Of course, already double world champions before they tried it, but it's a very distinctive style of rowing, and it's becoming, I think, more widespread now, certainly amongst the world's coaches. So Wairiki Rowing Club from New Zealand, Grace Prendergast and Kerry Gowler, come up to the finish. They will win this heat of the women's pairs. I think they will go forward to race the other New Zealand pair, Guja and Gowler, sister of Kerry, tomorrow, and the British squad pair, Bath University and Southampton Coal Porters, come in second place.